welcome back to Safety Harbor Scott. I'm Scott Long. This is the April 10th week show, and I want to welcome my guest, Darren Loscalzo, who, with his wife Kelly, owns Backwater Provisions Co. down on Main Street, and they're celebrating their first anniversary this Saturday with a big party. Hopefully everybody will show up for it, so thanks for being here. Sunday,
12 to
See,
5.
the first mistake I made. I'm fired. Sunday. Come
and see us.
All right, so I want to start out a little bit, Darren, here, because I've got a bunch of people since we started this show that keep sending me ideas for guests to have, and they're all almost business owners. And I keep telling them, I'm like, I don't want to make this like a business showcase show, but if there's times that businesses are doing interesting things, then I want to have them on. And so a couple reasons that I think your story is a little interesting. One, I've started 2 companies, and I don't know what the current number is. You might know this, but the scared straight number they give you, only 75% of businesses fail in the first year, right? So the fact that you made it the first year, congratulations, because I know how hard that is. So that's a story in itself. But 2, I understand there's an interesting backstory, so maybe I'll find out that it's not as interesting as I thought. But let's start with that, because this was really kind of a COVID baby, if I'm understanding correctly, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We went through a rough time as a family. We sold our house. We wanted to live in Safety Harbor. We come to Safety Harbor, and I lose my job. And at that time, it's all COVID related. And what do? I'm in the restaurant business for 25 plus years. Restaurants aren't really seating people anymore, right? So what do we end up doing? I've always had a passion for doing something around the water. Okay. And it was kind of an idea that I've thrown around, and Kelly was a little apprehensive at first and said, you need a good corporate job that's gonna, take care of the family. And I just had something that I believed inside of me that I thought would really come to life, especially here in Safety Harbor, without having, let's say, a typical men's store, or something that had something for everybody. That's kind of how we look at it. And so COVID came. We did our first event down at Beer and Burger over 2 years ago, and it was so successful. And we got such a warm welcome for everybody. We just went out and said, that's it. We've got to do this. And so we did. And it took us a year to find that spot.
Wow, really?
A year. And all the trials and tribulations of opening a brick and mortar. You go through licensing, insurance, build out, permits, and
people stealing signs.
And we just kept doing third Fridays and events just to keep that buzz going. And it was really something that we had a passion for, and we kind of took this vision and said, we're going to open a store that has really cool stuff in it, but we're not going to treat it like a retail store. We're going to treat it like a restaurant.
All right.
And just like you go into a restaurant, sit at a bar, and the first thing the bartender says, hi, what's your name, right? They want to get to know you. Well, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to have that atmosphere of customer service first before any sales. And that was never our goal to just sell. It was always to have a good relationship with the community.
Like an environment.
Like an environment, yeah.
Wow.
And so that's kind of where we got to. And
see, I didn't know that, so that's really interesting, because that is the vibe when you walk in. It's kind of like, it's going to move into my second question, but before I get there, so you guys made some personal sacrifices. A lot. Everybody that starts a business does, for the most part, unless Daddy writes you a check, which none of us are lucky to do, right? But so you guys made some personal sacrifices. I mean, are you comfortable talking about any of those?
Sure, yeah. I mean, like I said, I lost my job. And at that point, luckily we had a little bit of financial backing that, we did a good job of savings, but we really took our own money. We went to the bank, no loans, no borrowing. We just took money out and said, let's go forward. And we did. And we ended up moving into a 1,000-foot little villa for the 4 of us. So my 5-year-old son was sleeping in our room while our daughter was in her other room. And we had 1,000 square foot after moving from a big house out on West Chase. We sacrificed as a family, but one thing we didn't want to do, we didn't want to not invest in the business, because we knew we had something, and we didn't want our kids not to go to school where they're going to school. And that was so important to us. So those were our 2 focuses. Let's just keep moving forward with that.
And were obviously the wives are always apprehensive. Mine was, but that was great for my business, because no one grilled me more about it than my wife. So I mean, she made it make successful by being right.
Yeah.
But I don't have kids, so I don't know how that is. So were the kids on board from
Kids were
from the
on board. And the funny thing is, our first design, matter of fact, the shirt you're wearing,
Ooh.
that design on the back, my daughter actually hand drew that design.
Really?
And I took it from that little drawing and made it to what it is today.
Wow.
And I've always had this creative mind. I'm not a great digital artist, but I like to draw on paper. And these ideas just keep coming on paper, and then they start to come to life, and we've got our logo, and we've got designs on some clothing and some other stuff.
See, I'm the opposite. I can't draw, but I can design. So interesting.
Yep.
Okay, so I mentioned that you gave me a good segue to the second question, but so it's interesting. I think I kind of followed your path trying to find a place without even knowing you, just because Safety Harbor people talk, right?
Sure.
And I'm like, I'd heard for a while it was gonna be a bait store and then a fishing store, and I'm like, none of that appealed to me. That's not me. But I knew that was gonna be a slam dunk in this town because there's just no one else to do it, right? And then when you opened, I was like, all right, because again, I kept hearing bait store, right? And then I walk in, and it's not a bait store, right?
Not a bait store.
Yeah, it's some really nice high-end quality stuff and a good variety of stuff, even stuff that I will buy, including the shirt.
Right.
Some shoes that my wife thinks are fantastic, grills, all kinds of stuff. So for folks that haven't been in yet, that might be like me, they're like, that's not for me. Some stuff that they might find in there that they're not expecting to.
Yeah, and I think our vision was never a bait store, never a true tackle store. We wanted an outdoor store, and that's kind of what that Provisions is. Supplies for the outdoors. The back area of Safety Harbor out on the water is Backwater. So that's kind of the name process. But we have everything from resort wear clothing line to our own clothing line. We have grills, smokers, seasonings to go with them. But we do have the tackle. We do carry some bait. It's really anything outside. And that's kind of the message of our family. We love spending time outside. We love being on the water. We love going to the beach. We spend most of our time outside. So it was all about what we like to do outside, and then have super high quality components to fulfill that outside dream. Because if you're outside and you don't have a good SPF shirt, it's not great, getting sunburned and all that other good stuff.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that's kind of our vision with the store and where it is today.
And I'm going to guess you probably do all right with spa guests, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably 25 to 30% of our business. We have a great local clientele, and we're starting to see locals from Tampa that bring their boat over, or people from St. Pete that come up to the gem of Safety Harbor. But we get a lot of spa people that, that want to go out and enjoy. Maybe they forgot their bathing suit, a towel, hats, whatever it is. But we do see a lot from that as well.
Yeah, I mean, every time I'm in there, there's tourists in there, and they're just like having the time of their life. It's awesome to see. So, all right, so this is a really interesting question to me because we live in this Amazon first world now, and I'm not going to knock Amazon. There's a box on my front porch every day, right? It's easy, right? And I found this interesting. We just did a trip to Georgia. We went to this little town called Plains, where President Carter is from. Literally nothing there. 400 residents, including the president, and like one strip mall of little stores. And I went in one, and it was a political memorabilia shop. So buttons, signs. I'm like, it was my personal candy store, right? And when we're checking out, it's the owner obviously there, and he's like, yeah, you can't buy any of this stuff online. It's all here. And I'm like, you don't sell anything online. You expect people to come to Plains, Georgia to buy it, and it's successful, which is amazing. So I'm always curious when I see people open a brick and mortar store now. So, I mean, you could have done the Amazon route, right? You could have done all kinds of different things. So why did you settle on this?
Well, I think for one thing is when we first came to Safety Harbor, I walked up Main Street and there wasn't a place for me to buy a hat. And if you know me, I'm always in a hat, right? So there was no men's
In fact, I don't recognize you when you don't have your hat.
Right, a lot of people don't.
I felt bad about that. I've had you like scream at me, I look at you, I'm like, oh,
it's him. So that was kind of the vision of saying we got to have something for guys to enjoy in Safety Harbor besides a nice cold beer on the weekend. But the second piece of it is we wanted to get to know our community. Our goal, whether we made money or not, was to be embedded in the community and to give back to the community. That was always our goal. We, of course, you want to make money and survive, but we really wanted to really get to know who comes in and get to know their name and,
Yeah.
really build those relationships like you do in a restaurant.
Yeah.
That was always our goal. So, I would say right now, 95% of our business is all in store.
Wow.
We do have a website. We're actually revamping it because we're starting to see more
Okay.
online sales. A lot of tourists come in, they buy something, they like it, they go home, they want more. We started to realize that the website wasn't working
Gotcha.
to where we needed.
Well, that
So
makes
that's what we're
sense.
doing right now.
Yeah.
We're revamping. So we'll have a new website that'll be a little more shopper friendly than user friendly. And we'll probably have that in the next couple of weeks.
And any challenges, do you think, in being a brick and mortar in this Amazon world too?
Yeah,
I know what some people tell me is especially places that offer really good advice, which I imagine you fall in that category. People come in, get the advice, say thank you, I'm thinking about it, and go right outside and order on Amazon, right?
It does. I will say it does happen, but I would say 90% of the people that come in all say we want to support local businesses.
That's
we
great.
want
That's
to
great
support small businesses.
Yeah.
We don't want to go to the mall. We don't want to buy from Amazon or wherever. We want to have that relationship. And that's really what we're selling. Yes, you can pretty much get 75% of our stuff online. There's no doubt about it. We don't change our price points because of that. It's all the same everywhere. It's just we want that relationship piece, and that's what we're selling. We're selling customer service.
Well, I'll tell you, it worked on me because I did not. I don't think I knew you before
Right.
before all this, right? And
Yeah.
here you are now, and I've enjoyed getting to know you. So that approach is working.
That's what we want.
As you know, right? All right. Any plans for expansion, another store, or a new endeavor, or anything like that? Or are you focused on this one?
We are focused on this one, but we are looking beyond.
Okay.
So we've got some feelers out. We've got some people looking at property for us, all within the area. But the one key factor that we want to maintain is we want to maintain a small town feel. We don't want to go to downtown St. Petersburg and make this big store. That's not who we are. We want to find a small town that will embrace us and we can embrace them. And we want to be able to provide the same service we do here in Safety Harbor to where we go. So we're being very selective on what our next steps look like. We've got a couple other things that we're working on as well that hopefully we'll be able to announce shortly.
Okay.
And we're excited about what the future holds for us.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a challenge, right? Because what you just said, you want to get to know the community. So if you go to another community, because I know folks in Safety Harbor that have done expanded businesses elsewhere,
Right.
And it's tough to serve two communities at the same time, right?
Yeah,
even though you have a great product.
Honestly, it's about the people that we bring in. The employees that work with us, who we consider family, have to have that same passion that we do and that same understanding of customer service. Because without it, we won't succeed beyond this town.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about this party on Sunday.
Sunday,
12 to 5, right? So yes. What are folks gonna have fun doing when they come down to see you?
Shopping. We've got a lot of our vendors that are in town. We'll talk about a lot of our brands that we carry. You'll get to learn a little bit more about sunglasses and clothing and grills. Traeger is going to be out there doing a demo for us. We've got Papa's Pilar Rum doing some drinks for us. We also have a castnet teaching class.
Right.
So Captain Dave Blanchard from 1 to 2 is going to teach you how to throw a castnet. The best way to get bait. No reason to buy bait. You buy a net, you learn how to use it, and then you've got bait for the rest of your life. Yeah.
All right.
So it'll be a fun thing. We've got some great giveaways. I think we've got 8 to 10 baskets that we're raffling off. We've got door prizes. We've got giveaways. It'll just be a fun day. It's really just time to celebrate with the community.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, I'll be there, so we'll see you guys on Sunday, and you're going to stick around and do our little 5 Qs at the news here? All right, so let me jump into the news here this week. So, as always, our news is sponsored by Quaz Creative's new T Public Safety Harbor storefront, featuring more than 90 Safety Harbor themed t-shirts and more, including some fishing ones. Man, check that out. Not as good quality as yours, but it's there. But a link for that will be in the show description, so check that out. So, Pizzeria Gregorio, which had built a loyal following of diners but struggled to keep its legs under it during COVID, has been sold. You may still see owner Greg Seymour at various food festivals. And on Monday night, the City Commission will meet with a discussion on the city's noise ordinance and temporary use permit as the highlight. And things to do this weekend, of course, Sunday, you're going to want to be at Backwater Provisions, but Saturday is jam-packed as well, too. Check out the 5K by the bay at the marina to benefit the Grammatica Family Foundation, and the Safety Harbor Reunion Picnic for Harbor natives at Felipe Park. I always wonder how many people are going to be there, but there's always more than you think, right? So that's Saturday as well, too. So check that out. More details on all these news and things to do items, and plenty more can be found on the Quaz 34695 app. Available for free download at Google Play and the Apple App Store. Okay, so
all right.
Here's always my favorite part: the 5 Qs, where I get to know people a little bit better, and I like it that I'm branching out. I mean, I've gotten to know you, but I don't know you, right? So I'm taking some chances here, I think. And as you know on the show, you have 2 categories, and no one ever takes the first one. Maybe you will. Famous Hungarian violinist of the 1680s. Somebody actually told me that the violin wasn't invented by 1680s, so. There might be some interesting questions in there. Or the outdoors.
Oh, I don't know. Let me go with the outdoors.
Outdoors! Shocked to hear you go that route. So, all right, here we go. Let's see what we got in here. I'm always worried I put the wrong one in, too, so he could be answering last week's question. No, that's right. That's a good one. Okay, cue number 1. Where do you think the dividing line is between camping and glamping?
Oh, that's
what can you get away with before the snobs will say now you're glamping?
I think if you don't build a fire, you're glamping.
Okay, fire.
Fire is it. If you've got fire, you're good to go. You don't need a bed. You don't need anything. You got fire. You got warmth. You can cook. You can make distilled water. As soon as you go beyond that fire and you got a stove or something, I'm out.
Okay, so maybe I misunderstood you. So I took it to mean I can pull up in my big ass RV, but as long as I make a fire. No. So you're saying like primitive.
Like let's go. Sleeping bag, tent. Yeah, I'm good with all that.
All right, I am not. I'm team glamping.
Yeah, I don't think my kids or my wife are either. So I won't be doing that.
I had some traumatic experiences growing up, as you'll hear through the rest of these questions, because I am not as outdoorsy as you are. But I do remember, like, we had, like, those old-school pump tents. You know, now I see these things online where you push a button and...
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm like, I would have camped had I had that. Now I know it's glamping, but we had those old pump tents that took, like, 4 hours, and then you had those metal stakes that you always cut your toes on, right? Yes. You know what I'm talking about. And then when it rains, they weren't waterproof bags then. No. So I have traumatic remembrance of camping, like in Tennessee, getting soaked in the middle of the night, and then waking up the next morning at home to my dad, like, I'm done.
Right.
Somehow got us on the truck and got us all the way home from Ohio, right?
The humidity, too, kills you here in Florida.
Well, down here, yeah. Right. But, all right, well, okay, so a fire, all right.
All right.
Well, I can't imagine camping without a fire, so, all right. Okay, cue number 2. Secret fishing technique that not enough people know about. Any tricks in the Darren that you want to share, obviously?
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. Well, first of all, fishing is fishing. It's not catching.
Okay.
So you never go out anticipating that you're going to catch a whole bunch of stuff. Whatever you catch.
That's my problem.
My biggest tip to everybody is don't take it serious. Just go and have fun.
Have fun.
You're outside. You know? Can't beat that. That's my fishing tip.
My secret fishing technique is blackened.
Blackened anything?
Yeah, I don't want to catch it. I want you to bring it to me, and I want to eat it.
Right.
Not a lot of fish that you can give me that I will not enjoy. Right. But, again, I'm like, I feel bad about this because my dad was an outdoors person. My brother was. I am the black sheep of the family. I had these traumatic experiences, and fishing was one of them. Like, we'd go out fishing, it didn't matter where, like, because we grew up in Ohio, so we had, lakes, rivers, all that kind of stuff. We'd even go to the ocean on vacation, and this is what would happen is my dad and my brother would be pulling fish out like they're on the Flemish cap of the perfect storm, right? And here I am with my pole, nothing, not even a nibble. And then I'd get like a little, I'm like, that's it, I roll it up, and the bait's gone.
Yeah.
The one time, Darren, growing up, I caught a fish. We were off the coast of LA, and under one of those big boats out there, and I caught a fish. I saw it. I'm pulling it in. This is going to be the best day of my life, right? Sea lion.
You almost caught a sea lion.
I've literally never caught a fish.
You got to go out fishing.
Fishing has gotten slightly better since I've gotten old enough to drink beer.
Yeah,
But that's it.
yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll take you up on that. We'll see. But I promise you, I can't catch it. All right, cue number 3. Favorite thing to throw on the grill. And I'm going to stop here because you've mentioned Traeger a lot. So is that your go-to, or do you not care?
It is now. It is now. I think, I've had a green egg. I've had a Weber. All those take a lot of time.
Okay.
I don't have that time anymore.
Okay.
And that's the best thing with Traeger is that from the store, I can start the grill at home.
Oh, really?
And
I didn't know that.
It's Wi-Fi. It's ready to go. So I just get it out there and use it that way.
Fantastic. All right, but check that out Sunday at the party.
So it's a cheater grill, they say sometimes, but it works for me.
I'm fine cheating.
Absolutely. I would say the best thing that I make on the grill is probably, besides steak, I would say blackened either grouper or snapper.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like cooking fish on the grill.
It's hard, right?
It's very hard.
Yeah.
The key, super hot grill. Make sure that your fish is seasoned the right way, oiled the right way, and just let it sit. Don't touch it. Most people are flipping.
Same with steaks, though. People are like, flip the steak like 18 times.
No,
it's like,
just
once
set
inside,
it, forget it.
Yeah,
right? Let it cook almost 3/4 of the way through. Flip it over one time and then enjoy.
Yeah, I've tried that. It's hard. It's hard, but yeah,
it is.
But yeah, I was gonna say fish too. I just love fish. I grew up in Ohio, where my dad would cook perch, walleye. I don't know how many other gross fish that come out of Lake Erie.
Right.
It would smell, and we weren't grilling. It was like a pan on the oven, right?
Right.
Smell up the entire house, smoke everywhere, and it was like, oh. So it wasn't until I moved to Florida that I'm like, oh my God, there are actually fish that taste good.
Yes.
And then I see people like opening like walleye restaurants out here. I'm like, why?
Right. There's so much good
Why are
fish
you flying in this junk fish?
Right.
We have all this good fish out here. But yeah, I know if I could perfect grilling a fish on the grill, I would do that. That's
One day we'll do that too.
Yeah, okay.
We'll go fishing, catch fish, and then grill.
I like it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Beer's in there too.
Has to be in there.
Okay.
Has to be in there.
Just want to make sure.
Certainly on the boat because I'm not going to catch any fish. All right, key number 4. This one I'm looking forward to. Best childhood memory of the outdoors. After I just went through all my dramatic ones.
So I was fortunate. My parents moved from New York down to St. Petersburg, and we lived on the water.
Wow, really?
My backyard.
How old were you then?
I was born and raised in St. Pete.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
51 years ago. But I literally every day I could go out and fish right off the dock. We were right there. We had great fishing there.
Awesome.
But the memory that I remember the most is I was 7, and my dad and mom, and my brother, we went down to the Keys, and we met my dad's friend who was a St. Pete police officer at the time. But he had a place down the Keys and a boat, and he took us snook fishing down there. And back then, snook was plentiful. There was so much snook, it was crazy. And there were no limitations on catching snook. We caught it, we ate it, it was the best experience. I will never forget it. I remember I had red swimsuit on and a red hat, and I think I never changed that entire week because I love being outside. That is the memory, and that's kind of what got me to where we are today. That's what I always think back to.
You know it's a good memory when you remember what clothes you're wearing.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. I
can't remember what I wore yesterday.
The picture of us fishing out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like 40-something years ago.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I was trying to think how I was going to answer this question because, again, I have a lot of trauma, but a little different. We used to take, every 2 years, we took a trip out to California to see my grandparents, and we would drive, and we had one of those, it's a green and white Winnebago with like green shag carpet. Right. I'm like, I literally would love to have that now. Forget these these fancy ones.
Yeah.
Give me like that 1970s shag carpet thing, but we would drive, through all these national parks up in Wyoming, Montana. I barely remember them now, but I remember my first time because it's so different than Ohio, so different than Florida, and like these mountains full of sand, and it's like you felt like you're like on Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
So my brother and I be digging, and that's when I learned what scorpions are. Fortunately, I didn't learn the hard way. Then I'd get stung and die. But I'm like, okay, there's a whole world outside of Ohio. Yeah. I need to explore it. So, and then I became a great traveler. I love traveling now.
Yeah, me too.
See stuff. So that might be it. Definitely not camping.
Glamping.
Or fishing. But if I glamp back, then I would love it. All right, so this is interesting because I like to take a chance every week with a question. And I didn't exactly know your age range. I assumed you were in the vicinity of me, and now I find out we're the exact same age.
All
So
right, good.
maybe I'm not taking a big
Good.
chance here.
All right.
You remember the movie The Great Outdoors, right?
Yes.
All right, good. That's all.
Yes.
That's all I care.
Yes.
That's all I care about. That you've seen the movie.
Yes.
All right. I don't even care if you appreciate it as much as I do.
Oh no,
but...
I do.
Okay, good. Even better. Even
I
better.
like comedies.
All right, you're taking the family out on the water. Chet Ripley's pontoon boat or Roman Craig's Suck My Wake speedboat?
No way. The pontoon boat all the way.
Really? See, I thought you were going to go the other way with this.
Pontoon boat.
Fantastic.
Cooler, food, and family.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those days of speed are long done.
Okay, see, that's what I was going to say, right? There was a time that it would be 100% speedboat, right?
Yes.
But now that we're closer to being a centenarian than the newborn.
Exactly. Yes.
A little careful now, right?
Right.
And also the other thing too, like again, I don't boat as much as you do, but a couple years ago, I won a little vacation home for a week, and my family from Ohio came down with the kids, and we did this. We went into ran a boat, but I always growing up, I love tubing.
Yeah.
I could never water ski. I have famous videos of me almost drowning, but I could tube was fun, and I wanted the kids to enjoy that. And so they're like, we can have a pontoon boat. And I'm like, pontoon boat can't tube off of that.
Oh.
And they're like, how long has it been since you've had a pontoon boat? And I'm like, 40 years?
Yeah.
Like, they're different now. Like, look at the motors on the back of this. I'm like, all right. Anyway, so we took it out. We're able to tube and able to do all the other stuff that you mentioned, which is fantastic. I love the pontoon boat.
Me too.
I don't know why other people don't love it as much. But.
I still like the fishing boat, like especially for the guys.
Yeah.
But the kids and
they're hanging out in the family, right?
You
a little different.
On the island, that's the best thing.
Yeah. And you can still fish off a pontoon.
Yeah. You can fish anywhere.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Darren, for being here. Great answers to those questions. Had a lot of fun with you. We're going to have a lot more fun Sunday, noon to 5 at Backwater Provisions on Main Street, right next to Nolan's across from Tiki, in case you don't know where it is and don't know how to Google. Some people don't know how to Google. So we'll see you then, and I will be back next week.
Thanks, Scott.